Hi, Flosstube, it's Diane. Hopefully it's enough light. This room. Anyway, thought I would do a quick update here. Yeah, because I won't be able to later this week. So today is January 18th, 2020. Happy New Year. I have new starts. I have a little bit of everything. So let's jump into new starts, shall we? So a new start, it wasn't what I started on New Year's Day, but it is a new start, and it is A Savior's Praise, Shakespeare's Peddler. And I am stitching it on the called for, which is 40 count Beach Brew. I only worked on this one day. It is on 40 count, so I made sure I had a lot of natural light. Although I haven't tried it under my new lamp right there. I'm sure that would be nice. So I started working on the border. And that's all DMC. I think I'm stitching the whole thing in DMC. There's 4 weeks dye works called for in the original pattern, but I think I'm just going to do it all in DMC. I didn't think that there was enough variegation. Or did I buy the... I might have bought them. Anyway, if I did, we'll see it when I get there. But the chart is really nice to read. It's the first time I've done a Shakespeare's Peddler chart. And I know Chris, who did the model stitching on this, she's a really nice woman. Really nice person. Another new start. This is the one I started New Year's Day. The reason I didn't keep going with her, I screwed up. And I didn't have the heart to frog. And it is Zelda, Mirabilia. I am stitching a color conversion on her. She is being stitched on 32 count Thorn Haven by Fabrics by Stephanie. And she had I ran across a sale of her fabrics, and that's where I picked this piece up, so it's been sitting there waiting for something. And I'm stitching her in purples, and I did a counting error that I'm going to have to frog, I think, all of this right here. Yeah. So I didn't have the heart to do it. That's, this is like the top of her gown. She's leaning on those pillows. So, like, this is, I started at her shoulder and I was going down, and then I made a boo-boo. Oops, no, sorry, it's this way. And so I have to frog pretty much all this. I don't think I have to frog any of this. And the light is, this part's okay. But I just haven't had the heart to do that. And I got frustrated, and I'm like, you know what? I've got so many other things that I want to start and work on. I will get back to her. The reason I'm changing her to purple is my daughter is a Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor, and one of the things I have to do this week is her next 3-month check is Thursday. And so we expect that to be a great appointment. So the ribbon color for Hodgkin's lymphoma is purple. It's violet. So I'm changing the pinks in here to violets. And one of the water lilies, I think there's 4 in this pattern, maybe 5. One of the water lilies I did have to change, otherwise they're the original. So I will, when she's done being stitched, I will share my color conversion. There's a lot of beads in here. And I know other people have stitched her, and she's just beautiful. So I started that one on New Year's Day. And then another new start that I have is this one, Ding Dong Ornaments. This was an exclusive through Crazy Annie's. I don't know when, if this will be available everywhere. I know it was an exclusive when I bought it. And I do plan on stitching all 5 separate like this and somehow hanging them. Maybe not on a bunting, but somehow displaying them together. This is on the 32 count Vintage Country Mocha it's called for. I am using the called for colors so far, and they're weeks. There's only 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yes, 5. These are the 5. So there's a green, a red, a white, black, and this one's kind of more of a green gold. And so this is the first ornament that I got started on. And I love Beth's designs. They're really, really nice to read, and her color choices are amazing. So there's that. So I started that one. And those are my new starts. Whips that I started, well, I started this one last year. Both these I started last year. And I've been working on them. Oh, geez, you guys. They're in the screaming mode. Something about being 3 and 5 and you can get away with it. It's like, you know, if I walked around the house screaming like that, if the guys with the yellow or the straight jackets would be coming to get me. Family tree, Thistles. And I added the extra row, so I have all the outer cottages done. And there's 3 lines of stitching in this border. I had the 2 inner lines done. And so at Bible study, when we're listening to the podcast of who we're studying, the teacher, I just sit there and I'm working on finishing that outer border, this 3rd part here. And that's old purple paint, Gentle Arts. And I already have the brown and the blue, and that's purple, obviously. So I'm getting that done. I've also done a lot on this tree here. I decided to watch The Sound of Music again. I haven't watched that in several years, so I watched it, and I got a lot of this branch and those branches down in that is all sable, I believe, is what I worked on. I think I added a few leaves too. So yeah, I gotta keep working on that center tree. Keep working on it and get it done. But, you know, when you're listening to something on a podcast, you don't really have to count. You don't really have to think about it. That's why I chose to bring this one to Bible study. And, you know, that way if she said something and I wanted to write something down, I didn't have to go back, okay, now where did I count? Yeah, this is this part of this project is one of those things. I do have threads I need to snip. They're gonna drive me nuts. I'm using all the called for colors on this piece, and it's stitched on 36 count flax. And the bag I made myself. Oh, this bag here, these are bags by Wendi, with this fun little zipper pull. And I do a stitch night at Stitchville once a month. And she was there, this is probably September. I want to say September. But she gave everybody a free bag. So she has an Etsy shop, and here's all her information. And I will try and include this information below. They're really cute bags. And this has chocolate covered strawberries on the inside, and this kind of polka dotted red, kind of this chocolatey black, chocolatey back, and vinyl front. So that's what this bag is. This bag is made by Mama Joan. So I got this for my birthday this year. This bag I made for myself. And this one is a whip. I started it at Galleria. It is Twinkle Twinkle, Rosewood Manor. Yes, Gary from Sunshine Stitcher. Must not have a life. No, just kidding. He's always busy and traveling and stuff, so he gets time to stitch. He does a really nice job. This is 28 count color and cotton skinny jeans. Bought this at Galleria. I am using the called for metallics, and here's where I'm at. So I have this one big guy here, and then a bunch of these little sparkly bursts, and there's a couple of these starbursts. And I don't think I'm going to do the words. Partly because the words are in a really dark metallic that will not show up very well on this. And also, just looking at it on this particular color, I think it would detract from it. And it would be easy, you know, to frame this, you know, this size. But I also like it, like Gary finished his on white, which is what the model was stitched on. And it's beautiful, and I love the words on that one. I just don't think the words will work on this particular color. And I've been looking at other colors of Petite Treasure Braid to change that one. It's a really dark blackish, I'm not sure the exact name of the treasure braid. And I've looked, and I just don't think these metallics go together really well. Karen chose her colors. They're amazing. Some of the colors are really close and you think they don't look different, but when you put them in and all together in the design, it's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I don't want to detract from the sparkly and the, yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going to skip the words. So I will cut it off at that point. So essentially, when it's all said and done, which this won't be there, which I think will look nice. And yeah, when I do stitch from stash, I'll change the stitch count and all that. Speaking of that, I have a finish. I have one piece of haul. This is 32 count Frosty Mint by Fiberlicious. This was the fabric of the month for January. And it is really, it's a nice bright green, a mint green, which you would think a mint green is. That's probably more true to color there. So I get a fat 1/8. So that was just my haul. I've ordered a couple things, they just haven't come. So my finish. Hibernation Day, Beth Twist, Heartstring Samplery. I used all the called for colors except the white. I substituted out of Carrie's Creation Cotton Polar Bear. And this is on 28 count Wren by Picture This Plus. The model was stitched using 1 strand over 2 threads, and so I followed that. The model was stitched on natural. That's why I had to change my white, because I chose a different colored fabric. But I think it looks great. So, if I can remember, I can't read this backwards, sorry. I love the snap of winter air and the snowflakes on my face. How snowdrifts make the world disappear without a trace. So part 1 goes to about here. Part 2 goes to here. I'll take a day dressed in pajamas in a room without a view if I can spend the day curled up next to you. Part 3 is about here. Part 4 is right around the trees, I think. Or maybe it's under this first line of writing. Let's have a hibernation day, me and you. Gets under the first line of writing. And the bottom, these fruit baskets. And then I changed it though, because the original had initials here and a year. I just didn't want that there. So I took that row out, which meant I had to move this up like 9-10 stitches, and I miscounted. So this design here, I had a chunk of this vine before I found the mistake, and I thought, I am not ripping that out. So I just continued the pattern and then cut it off at the edge. So it's a little bit different than the original, but no one knows unless I tell them. And the bottom. And then I finished this. I finished it in January. I want to say the first week of January I finished it. This is Lugana, by the way. And went to Joann's and I found this frame, which I think is going to work. It's 10 by 24. So I'll take off this mat, probably take off this glass, plexiglass, whatever this is, and take out the mat and pop it in there. I think it'll work. I haven't fully tested it out yet, but I think it'll look good. So that's what I have. I am going to work on the snowflakes, and then kind of whatever strikes my fancy. Now that I have this guy done, because the snowflakes is almost done because I'm not going to add the words. I thought originally I would add the words, but now I'm not going to add them. That's my main focus till it's done, and then I'll bring that family tree to Bible study, work on the border. Otherwise I'll work on the tree if I have other time. And then I got a frog Zelda. Yeah. I still have a number of things to start. Don't know when I'll do that. But yeah, just looking ahead to my week, I knew today was the day I needed to do this video. So Kenny Stitches, I should have written it down, Kenny Stitches. I'll link him below. He is a new floss tuber. He just put up his first video. I've met him twice, so we want another male stitcher out there. He's a really, really nice person. He does fabulous, particularly Mirabilias. He just is a fabulous stitcher. So I encourage you to go check him out. I will link him below. And I think my phone's gonna die, but love to you all, and thank you for letting me be part of this community, and I look forward to seeing you again in 2020.